Tonight, there are new questions about who can challenge a potential $17 million legal bill on behalf of the Fulton County taxpayers.
So that's how much the defendants in the Georgia election interference case are asking for. Now that all the charges are dismissed, 11 Alive's Grace King joins us live from the 11 Alive Streaming Center tonight. So, Grace, can they get that kind of cash?
Well, that's the $17 million question. 13 defendants in this criminal case, including President Donald Trump, say they should qualify for reimbursement under a new state law that applies in cases where charges are dismissed. So they've filed hundreds and hundreds of pages and receipts in hopes of getting their money back. But that'll be up to Judge Scott McAfee to decide whether they qualify, and if so, how much they'll get. So the new state law says it's only possible in a dismissed criminal case where the prosecutor is disqualified for misconduct. Here, DA Willis and her office were removed because of a, quote, appearance of impropriety. And several attorneys are raising questions about whether an appearance is enough to meet that standard.
Hey, welcome back to Freedom Insight. Today, Fulton County is taking the fallout from DA Fani Willis being removed, with a reported $17 million reimbursement demand hanging over taxpayers. According to the clip, the defendants in the Georgia election case filed hundreds and hundreds of pages of receipts, and Judge Scott McAfee has to rule if they qualify. Worse, lawyers argue whether an appearance of impropriety is enough to trigger the law. Meanwhile, judges cite staffing shortages, a major backlog, and officials say 72 inmates sleep on the floor nightly. Come on, if this system is already under pressure, does it tip into chaos?
If it does, Judge Scott McAfee will have to decide whether anyone can challenge the $17 million bill. That could be Fulton County, the district attorney's office, and/or special prosecutor Pete Skandalakis, depending on who you ask. Attorneys for President Trump say it would have to be Skandalakis because the district attorney cannot intervene or reappear through counsel for her office in a case in which she has been disqualified. But Skandalakis told the court he doesn't think he has the authority to legally respond now that the criminal portion of the case is over. He also raised several constitutional questions, just like the DA's office, about whether this law can actually get them that money.
All right, Grace, thanks a lot. I'm sure we're going to keep an eye on this.
Most people never asked for the Fulton County DA drama, but now they may get stuck paying for it. Here's the simple version. Fulton County DA Fani Willis brought a high-profile Georgia election case that included President Donald Trump. According to the news segment you're about to hear, the charges are now dismissed, and the defendants are asking for their legal fees back, potentially around $17 million. That's public money. The fight is over who can challenge that bill and whether a state reimbursement law even applies. Meanwhile, local judges and court officials are warning the system is already strained. Not enough staff, huge backlogs, and a jail that's overcrowded. Regular taxpayers care because this hits your wallet, your safety, and basic trust in the justice system. What you're about to hear first is the local station laying out the $17 million question and the legal wrinkle that could decide whether that reimbursement law kicks in.
And tonight, Fulton County judges say staffing shortages are causing a major case backlog, and it's contributing to the overcrowding at the Fulton County Jail. In fact, the county says 72 inmates sleep on the floor every single night. Atlanta News First, Patrick Quinn is live at the Fulton County Courthouse tonight with more. Patrick.
And remember, so many people inside the jail right now, they are not convicted of any crime. They're still waiting for their day in court to see a judge. And here in Fulton County, you go into court, there are 3 parties present. There's a defender, a prosecutor, and a judge. And here in the county, all 3 are teaming up, saying they're understaffed, they're underfunded. This is creating, they say, not just justice issues, but also public safety problems.
So catch the key receipts there. The reporter calls it the 17 million question. They say reimbursement can apply when charges are dismissed, but the law hinges on a prosecutor being disqualified for misconduct. And in this case, the removal was described as an appearance of impropriety. That distinction matters because it's the difference between pay them back and not eligible. Then there's the procedural mess. Trump's team argues the DA's office can't just jump back in after disqualification, while Pete Skandalakis is raising the point that he may not even have authority to respond now that the criminal case is over. Plus constitutional objections about whether this law can deliver the money. Translation, you've got a giant bill hanging in the air, and the county may be left arguing with itself about who's allowed to fight it. Now shift your attention to what Fulton County officials are saying about day-to-day justice. Listen closely to the warnings about staffing, delays, and what's happening inside the jail. because that's where the pain becomes real for families who don't have PR teams or political connections.
I'm an elected prosecutor. I have to make the community think we're safe. It's part of my job. They're not. They're not safe. This is not hyperbole.
Bold words from Fulton County Solicitor General 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐤𝐿𝐥𝐚𝐢𝐸, who investigates, charges, and prosecutes misdemeanor crimes in the county, including DUI, battery, and traffic offenses. He said his team is understaffed. The public defender's office said the same.
Some days it feels like we're just not there because we just don't have enough people.
And judges, too, sounded off in front of county leaders. A lack of staff, they said, is causing civil and criminal cases to back up.
Backlogs are an issue that cry out for public attention and for your attention as the lawmaker.
That second segment is the part corporate media usually ignores until it can be stapled to a Trump headline. Three sides of the courthouse are sounding alarms: prosecutor, public defenders, and judges, all saying they're understaffed and underfunded. The numbers are brutal. The county says 72 inmates sleep on the floor every night. They also report people picked up on bench warrants can sit for upwards of 2 weeks before they even see a judge. That's not justice. And then comes the budget squeeze. They say the funding fight comes to a head when the county votes on the 2026 budget later this month. The Solicitor General is seeking 12 new staff, and the county is only recommending 4. On top of that, the report says Governor Brian Kemp is adding 2 new judges, and officials are already warning those courtrooms will start understaffed.
So what does this mean if you have a case here in Fulton County? Well, the public defender's office said expect delays. In some of their recent cases, they've had people picked up on bench warrants, arrested, but they can't see a judge due to these backlogs for upwards of 2 weeks. And that wait, oftentimes, is inside the Fulton County Jail.
Because we're just too damn busy. We're overwhelmed. Someone may get stabbed in this dilapidated jail who needed mental health treatment. But you know what? My prosecutor had 500 cases to manage.
As of this week, County Commissioner Mo Ivory said 72 people are sleeping on the ground at the jail due to overcrowding.
We have 2 crises. We have to fix our jail and we have to properly fund our courts. And both of those cannot be done without the other.
And judges warned this court staffing issue will only intensify after Governor Brian Kemp just announced 2 new Fulton County state judges will take the bench later this month. 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐤𝐚𝐢𝐸 said those judges will start understaffed.
When prosecutors and when public defenders and when the system is underfunded, there is a failure of justice.
And this funding battle, it'll come to a head later this month when the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, they will vote set to approve their 2020